excited. I can say now we can officially start the live draw process for our Call of Duty World Championship groups. And before, obviously, we go straight into it, we have a graphic just explaining a little bit about it. Obviously, this looks very confusing. It does, I'm going to be honest, a lot of words. But you can see, in terms of Pot A, of course, Group A will have first from Stage 2. So we know that to be Optic Gaming. Group B, second from Stage 2, Team Enemies, etc., etc. You can see as it goes along the board. So the first 4 teams are technically predetermined by that from Pot A into Group A, B, C, and D. But Group E, F, G, and H, we're going to have to draw those ones, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you could see it's very important just the seeding off of Stage 2, and then you go down to Pot B, 9 through 12. They're going to match up versus a 5 through 8, where 13 through 16 in Stage 2, they got to face one of the top 4 teams here. So, yeah, just those games later in Stage 2, they really mattered.
Then, of course, you look down towards Pot B. You have your 13 to 16 Stage 2, your Mindfreak, Elevate, Rise Nation, Epsilons, and your 9 through 12 from Stage 2, your EG, Ghost Gaming, Red Reserve, and Cloud9. It's going to be an interesting one. It most definitely will, with Pot C including your North American LCQ teams and your 1 through 4 EULCQ teams. That's Millennium, Supremacy, Infused, MRN Black in there as well. So there is going to be pretty big draw, I'm not going to lie, but we can show you now the graphic with updated teams that have already gone through, of course. So your 1, 2, 3, and 4 teams, Optic Gaming, Team Envy, E United, and LG. So the big question now is, of course, who goes into Group E, F, G, and H. As I said, we will have to actually draw those teams because there is no deciding. There's no placement teams, right? 5th and 6th is the same, so you're going to have to pull one out and connect them through. But, I mean, Optic Gaming, of course, in Group A. As I mentioned, Team Envious in Group B, E United in C, and Luminosity in D. I'm excited to see where all of our teams land, Momo.
I just want to click my fingers right now and have that whole graphic.
You can't do that, Phil.
No, I mean,
you can't do that.
That takes away all the tension, that takes away the atmosphere, and that would, of course, be a little bit boring. But yeah, I'm fully, anticipating a very controversial. Things can happen, anything can happen. You will get those tougher groups, you will get those quote-unquote easier groups. Some people will be happy, some people will be sad, but to be the best, you're going to be the best.
Well, we can actually go ahead and start our draw process, and he's going to be drawing the first couple of teams going into E and F. It is the wonderful Jack Dunlop. Hey, Jack. Hopefully you're excited as we are.
Yes, I'm very excited. Down here, this is the official drawing table, so we've got our 4 pots of teams, but first we're going to pick from those 5, 6, 7, 8 spots, starting with this bag right here. So the first draw to come on through. Picking, mix them all around. The draw will come out, and it is FaZe.
Wonderful. So FaZe Clan being drawn there. I mean, they had a fantastic Stage 2, I think it's fair to say.
You think so?
Yeah, I think you look at their uplink. I think their uplink is probably one of the best in the game right now. I think you need to go home and maybe work on what? Search and destroys. They do that with the addition of Gunless. I think they could have a fantastic chance.
I'm going the other way with it. I think it's a bad Stage 2 for them overall. A roster change comes in, Clay outplaces you. You're definitely not happy about that. How does Gunless feel with that sort of placing? How does he feel? Is he vibing with this new roster?
True.
That's not the momentum you really want going into champs, but regardless, a quality team for sure.
Very true. Now we can draw the other 5th, 6th team.
Fnatic.
And of course, it is going to be Fnatic. Fnatic actually outplacing Splyce here. A big surprise. A lot of people had them pegged as 7th through 8th. So Fnatic will slot into Group F.
Yeah, and Fnatic was a team who early on in the year was always improving every event. Once we got to Stage 1, you didn't see that as much. They obviously didn't make Stage 1 playoffs. Stage 2 playoffs comes around. They're getting better and better, just what you want for COD champs.
Well, now, of course, Jack drawing our 7th through 8th place teams here at the Stage 2 playoffs. Splyce is, of course, in this bag. Do bear that in mind. And look at that.
Splyce.
Like magic. He draws out Splyce from the bag. Splyce, of course, they will go into Group G. And Splyce team, I think everyone will agree with a poor week in terms of group play and a poor showing here at the Stage 2 finals.
I'm not sure what these guys need to do mentally to sort of bounce back from that. It's going to be interesting to see how they do at champs.
I did like how they responded, though. They were here scrimming. After they were knocked out, what you want to see, they understand champs is the bigger picture.
Enigma 6.
True. And Enigma 6, of course, pulled out the other team that finished 7th through 8th. Jack doing a phenomenal job pulling them out.
He's having a
good job,
there,
Jack.
isn't
He is having a jolly old time, that's for sure. So now, of course, we can see our first teams in each group come the Call of Duty World Championship. Obviously, those final teams being pulled now. Jack can move over to Pot B, where he is going to be pulling a few more teams out and obviously placing them into the groups.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these will be the 9 through 12 teams, so we'll see how they are placed.
Cloud9.
Ooh, okay, so that's going straight into Optic. No, I don't have
It goes
a clue
into
where
Enigma
that's
6.
Sorry, my mistake.
We'll go to reverse snake
reverse
draft.
snake
Yeah,
order.
you Americans and your crazy drafts.
Yeah.
Us English, we do it just simple. But of course, Cloud9, they will join Enigma 6, and Cloud9, curious to see how they react to that.
Ghost Gaming.
We'll see on social media. Ghost Gaming going to Splice's group. And let me tell you, Ghost Gaming, of course, didn't make it to playoffs, but after the first 2 days they had, they were phenomenal.
Well, days 1 and 2 of tournaments, they're fantastic. You know, going back to Anaheim, they
Which is group play.
proved a lot of people wrong, and then all of a sudden they get to the bracket and things start to go wrong from them. See how they sort of bounce back going into champs.
Now the next team drawn from
Evil
Jack
Geniuses.
will be Evil Geniuses. And Evil Geniuses, of course, they're going to go into Group F. There, they will join Fnatic.
That's a good draw if you're EG. You know, definitely what you want. You know, to help them get that #1 seed. But that's a team who we're just not sure which Evil Geniuses will show up.
Red Reserve.
Oh, and there's the European team, of course. They're going to go into Group E, where they will join FaZe Clan. I mean, Momo, how do you feel about that? Of course, Red Reserve, a fantastic team.
Yeah, one thing I'd say about Red Reserve, they do match up against North American teams very well. I think they'll be happy not to draw Splice. But I think just all in all, Red Reserve, they've got such a good mentality. They kind of don't care who they play.
Now, of course, the 13 through 16
Rise Nation.
teams, Rise Nation, drawn out, and they will go into Group D, where they will join Luminosity, and that's a spicy one. I'm not gonna lie. I like that. I like that a lot. Curious to see the remaining 3 teams drawn, exactly where they will land.
Mind Freak.
Oh, Mind Freak. That's a tough one, right? That's a brutal. United. I mean, do you see much hope for Mind Freak there, Momo?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, just no. I think against the United, no, but against the rest in their pool, maybe.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Very
Of course,
true.
still 2 more teams to be decided, including those from the North American and European LCQs. The APAC LCQ, 5th, 6th
Elevate.
from EU, and 5th, 8th from North America. Elevate drawn into Team Envious' group. Of course, Elevate with not the best performances in.
No, actually the worst.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
You're
I was trying to be polite there. Appreciate that one. Really do. And
Epsilon.
the final team is, of course, going to be Epsilon, and Epsilon drawn into Optic Gaming's group.
And that's, you know, they were in their group here to get through. They failed. They're going to be joining Optic Gaming. Chance for redemption, but again, Optic Gaming looks strong.
And I'll tell you what, if you're Optic Gaming, you're happy with that because they like tough competition. They like feeling that adrenaline
Echo
early
Fox.
Oh, and Echo Fox now as well, of course, is being 1 through 4 from the North American LCQ. They will join Group A as well. Group A looking very, very spicy, boys.
That's a juicy group for sure. Replay's coming back.
Ooh, Call of Duty World
Okay.
Champ, baby. Oh.
He's got a real test, though, in that group.
No, he most definitely does. Of course, could potentially
Project Evil.
be a big upset. Project Evil, who looked fantastic in the LCQ.
And coming into that one, I'm really happy. You know,
Oh, absolutely.
Elevate coming off of an
You just-
0-18.
Blessed.
And that's a very good shot for them to take second, or possibly top 2, but probably second.
Yeah, that's a very, very good chance, especially with how Envia played this weekend. You would assume that they should take that group.
Infused.
Infused now drawn into Group C, I believe that will be.
Yeah, I mean, that's European, obviously Team LCQ kind of making it through here. Honestly, Mind Freak, I think they can go toe-to-toe. United, again, I'm going to state the obvious. I don't think they beat Clay and the likes, but definitely in options for top 2.
Supremacy.
Supremacy
Okay.
now going to be drawn as well. Supremacy will slide there into Group D, the final team.
Yeah, and this is a team who they were pretty close to getting into stage 1. I mean, they were in that pro points
Actually,
race,
that's
so
true.
you know, don't take these guys lightly if you're one of those 2 North American teams.
Still a couple more teams to be drawn.
Allegiance.
Allegiance, and I believe now we'll see our graphic updated. Allegiance will slide into Group E.
That is a dangerous team. Look out for this team to make some noise. We saw it at Anaheim. They got through pools. They were able to beat Envious. That is a dangerous draw.
Very quality team that's, you know, made it out of the open bracket at these big events over and over again. Very juicy group there as well. And
Straight Rippin'.
Oh, straight ripping, drawn into EG's group. That is going to be the game that
That
you
is
do
what-
not want to miss.
That is...
Oh, Studdy somewhere
probably
is.
jumping
Oh, he's hyped.
down.
Study is hyped right now. Let me tell you, he wants redemption against Evil Genius. He
No
could well
way.
get that at CUT
And
Champ.
Straight Rippin could get #1 in that pool.
That's
that's winnable.
Legit,
for
they
sure.
could, yeah,
oh
absolutely.
my days.
MRN Black.
CUT Champs is about to be so. It's about, I can't wait.
This is awesome.
We are 2 weeks away
Yeah, and so the reason that MRN Black is drawn into Group H is due to that, you know, sort of region rule. Splice is already in Group G, so they have to even out. So whoever is this last team will fit into.
Come on, Jack. You can get it.
Come on, Jack. Put the ball in the hole, Jack.
Come on. Just
Come on, Jack. Hey, there you go, Jack.
By the way, he goes round and round instead of just getting.
Yeah, right. Could just pull it out. There is only one more ball.
Millennium.
And it is Millennium.
Lucky B
as well.
He's gonna be pre-landing actually for you guys at home alongside Splice in Florida before Champ. So they've got to take that into consideration.
Yeah, so if you're wondering why MRN Black, who was a EU team, got put into the next one where Millennium was put into that, it's because there was no eligible pools left, so they were drawn into basically the last pool that they could go into.
Okay, the last available spot. Now, of course, we go back to reverse draft, and TK drawn into Group H, and I mean, you look at that, TK, they were okay.
Yeah, not extremely convincing going to that LCQ. Some very tight games overall. Cloud9 and E6, no slouches.
Lethal Gaming.
Could maybe potentially somehow steal something, but Lethal Gaming now, of course, drawn. They will go into Group G, where they join Millennium, Ghost Gaming, and Splice. So
that's a tough group.
Group's definitely starting to take full shape now, but it is this Group F, which I think currently is the one where you're like, all right, so far anyone could potentially take this.
Rogue.
Wow. Ooh, join him.
Okay. Wow.
Rogue. Okay, Rogue, we see you.
And we'll see where they're drawn again. We're looking for the next eligible pool for those guys.
In fact,
so
yeah.
Yes. Because Group
regional.
F and Group E and Group D, they already have 2 North American teams, where Group C does not have 2 North American teams. So Rogue is drawn into Group C.
I think Rogue have a really good shot
Yeah.
too. I really do.
I'm extremely happy.
They actually just, wow.
They look good in the LCQ.
They looked fantastic in the LCQ at times, that's for sure. You have what, Infused, Mindfreak, and E-United in that group. Again, we assume E-United is going to take first place, but
Tainted Minds.
Mindfreak and Infused come through. Now, of course, Tainted Minds are going to be drawn. We'll take a moment to figure out exactly where they should fall again. Yep, it's going to be Group F, so... dude, if I'm straight ripping, I have the biggest grin on my face right now.
100%.
Yeah, I think they could literally take first.
Yeah, I don't think Fnatic as well will be too disappointed with that group.
That's a great group for them.
Yeah, I've just want to point that one out.
Era Eternity.
Era Eternity now drawn. Of course, only a few teams left in our COD Champs draw, and Era will go into Group E.
Yeah, European team, obviously Red Reserve, far superior, but that's a very hard group for them to be drawn in.
Very difficult indeed. Obviously, we talked about Allegiance's capabilities. They looked very, very good in the LCQ.
Vitality.
Vitality now drawn.
Shane.
That's good.
Wow, Vitality versus Supremacy.
Okay. I mean, they have matched up a lot of times online. They'll know each other well, but again, I think I'm looking at those North American squads. You've got to really.
I think one thing you have to note as well, Rise hasn't looked the best lately as well.
That's true.
I don't think they necessarily lose to one of those 2 teams, but you know, I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt.
I respect that.
2 teams left, of course, still to be drawn.
Mindfreak Black.
Mindfreak Black.
But are they? Oh no, sorry. I was thinking they were with Mindfreak for a second, but no. Okay.
Imagine that. Mindfreak and Mindfreak Black in the same pool at Champs. That would have been silly. But now, of course, just 1 team left to be drawn. Go on, Jack. Oh, he does it first time. He's got good at that.
Like a charm.
Threes Up.
Wow, that first wow. You are not happy if you're 3s up, because that is a very tough group. You know, Project Evil, they get Mindfreak Black and Elevate. You're happy if you're them, because they were a team who, you know, very well could have been in Stage 1. They were that old Panda team, but I believe Jack's happy.
Balls around on stage.
Nice job, Jack.
Thanks, Jack. You did a great job spinning the balls around.
Thank you, Jack.
Bravo. Bravo.
Great job.
Didn't mess up either, so that's always good. But now, of course, we have our completed pools for Call of Duty World Championship, and woo, there's some good ones in there. I do want to take some time now just to go over them one more time. Here's a look at our grand overview. And, I mean, at first glance, obviously we talked a little bit about Project Evil with a great chance of coming through in Group B. Echo Fox, if they can potentially steal a series maybe against Epsilon, could come out of Group A. I mean, Merc, what catches your eye?
I got to go with Group E. I think FaZe, Red Reserve, and Allegiance is good. And then sort of Group G, Splyce, Ghost Gaming, Millennium. I think there's a few groups in here where you have 3 teams who can definitely try to steal a spot.
Well, once again, going through each group individually. Group A, Optic Gaming, your Stage 2 champions. Joining them will be Epsilon. Obviously, we saw them in the regular season of Stage 2 play off against each other. Echo Fox joins as well as Threes Up. Excited to see how that group does unveil. Then, of course, moving forward to Group B, Team Envious, who just finished second here at the Stage 2 playoffs, go up against Team Elevate, Project Evil, Mindfreak Black. I feel if you are Project Evil, that's one of the best case scenarios you could possibly ask for, team.
Definitely one of the weakest groups you could probably get put into. I think Project Evil, they're very, very happy about that one. And Envy, I don't think there's really much competition for them, to be honest.
Very true. Now, moving forward, we'll take a look at Group C. United will be drawn in there, as will Mindfreak, Infused, and Rogue. I mean, for Rogue, again, they did have times that impressed me.
Yeah, and I was going to ask Phil, how good do you think this Infused roster is?
Not good enough to beat United, stating the obvious. Mindfreak, I was actually really impressed with Mindfreak in Stage 1. Then they made this whole change. Mindfreak have had a lot of time, to actually kind of change things, improve. I am going to favor the Australian boys on this one. I think Infused, they're a good team. But I personally haven't seen enough of them. I saw them at Sheffield, obviously. They got a new player, obviously joining their roster as well, so they've got things to work on. I just think it's going to be a difficult group for Infused.
And obviously, staying with the theme of the Europeans, we'll take a look now at Group D. Of course, this is where Supremacy and Vitality were both drawn into, Rise Nation and Luminosity as well. Do you see much hope, Phil, there?
I see the only... they've got upset against Rise. Teep touched on Rise not being the best at their current state at the moment.
They should have this.
But I do, I do kind of,
I'd be mind blown if LG and Rise one of the 2 teams. They obviously no disrespect to the others, but Teep, I mean,
so would I.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, LG top 4 here.
Right.
A favorite to win champs, to be quite honest. Rise not having, the best of years. Things really, they haven't been very fortunate in series, though.
They've
gone down to the wire so many times. They won a championship, albeit the meta was quite different back towards Vegas at the beginning of the year. But I got to give them respect. LG Rise, I'm taking them.
I would have to agree, if I'm honest. But moving forward, we'll take a look now at Group E. FaZe Clan, Red Reserve, Allegiance, and Era. And I think a lot of people may actually sleep on Allegiance, Merc, and I don't think they should.
Oh, not at all. I think Red Reserve as well. In terms of Search and Destroy, FaZe Clan did not have a good showing in that this weekend. Red Reserve, they can upset this FaZe Clan.
Dude, imagine a world where FaZe didn't finish top 2 in that group. You never know.
You never know.
I think they finished top 2, but I actually think Red Reserve come out on top on that one. Bit of a bold statement. I could be completely wrong, but I've got a lot of faith in these guys.
Could be completely wrong, yes, Phil.
They could be.
Then, of course, Group F. And for me, I think this is the one group that excites me the most.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fnatic, Evil Geniuses, Straight Rippin', and Tainted Minds. You only have to have a conversation with Study for a couple of minutes, and you know
he's
how
dancing right now.
Much.
He's on his stream just having a good
time. He's
time.
freaking out, dude.
Yeah.
He's probably listening to some music. He's good vibes right now.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, there was too much pressure on Temp and Dashy to perform well at LCQ. Study and Ricky have to step up big time if they want to get top 2 in that pool. As we saw, Fnatic was getting better and better. Evil Geniuses, man, I just don't know what to expect from those guys.
That's like a group that you see a 3-way tie. I think that's a group where it really
don't say that. The guys in the back will freak out.
It's going to be difficult. Like Fnatic will beat EG, EG will beat Straight will beat, and it's like, what's happening? It's like, okay, we're going down. That's a tough group.
One thing is for sure, there was a lot of hype around Dashy specifically coming into obviously the North American LCQ. Boy, oh boy, did he put on a show.
He was nasty. Tainted Minds, maybe they can pull something off. Excite. He's at home. He's like, I like this.
He's like,
what I want.
Yeah. Maybe. But as I said, that group honestly is going to be the one group where I think every single game is going to be so important. I think there's going to be a lot of energy in that group as well.
It has to be.
I mean, 100%. But to your point, Study and Ricky, the 2 veterans there on that Straight Rippin' squad, they have to step up. They do. It was a poor performance on the weekend for them.
And most importantly, it's not like they're playing some of the top competition we have in CWL, to be quite honest. Not to knock some of the teams in LCQ, but these 2 guys are veterans. They've won championships, right? The fact that they were kind of struggling against those types of teams, it's kind of scary going into a champ situation like this.
And then, of course, you look at Group G, Splyce, Ghost, Millennium, and Lethal. I feel like you have to think Ghost Gaming could steal first in that group. I know that may be a little kind of outlandish to say, but with their performances in group play specifically, they tend to do very well.
I just think you have to be afraid if you're Ghost and Splyce of sort of the bottom two, Millennium and Lethal. There's those two teams who are sleepers, right? Like, they can come out and just upset you. Again, you cannot have a slow start. We've seen from these teams, they come out to group stage, and they just do not play well off the beginning.
And then, of course, Group H, Enigma 6, Cloud9, MRN Black, and that final team in there is going to be Team Caliber.
Nah.
I just don't know if TK can course an upset in that group.
Accuracy was the one player who stepped up big time for them. If it wasn't for him, they probably don't get through the LCQ. You need one of those guys, you know, Theory or Goonjar, to really step it up. But yeah, I think E6 Cloud9 is pretty clear cut.
Yeah, I would assume so. Is there a world, Phil, where you see a potential TK upset there?
I don't. I completely agree with Joe. I think Enigma 6, Cloud9, it's just fight for first.
Fight for first. Well, of course, our group draw now concluded. COD Champs just a few weeks away, and I've said it so many times throughout the year. It really is the best event of the year for a reason. Of course, August 9th through 13th, you can purchase your tickets right now at mlg.tv/CWL Champs. We're going to be in Orlando, Florida this year, but that now concludes an unbelievable Stage 2 playoffs of the Call of Duty Global Pro League presented by PlayStation 4. Congratulations once again to Optic Gaming on taking home the CWL Stage 2 Championship, and of course $200,000 after that crazy double best of 5 grand final against Team Envious. The stage has very much now been set for an unbelievable conclusion to Infinite Warfare. Join us August 9th through 13th in Orlando, Florida for the biggest event of the year at the Call of Duty World Championship, as the top 32 teams in the world fight for their share of $1.5 million.